Blood circulation. Blood circulation refers to the continuous movement of blood throughout the body, facilitated by the circulatory system, which includes the heart, blood vessels, and blood. The purpose of blood circulation is to deliver oxygen and nutrients to the body cells and remove waste products. The heart pumps oxygen-rich blood to the body's tissues through arteries, while veins transport oxygen-poor blood back to the heart. The process of blood circulation also helps regulate body temperature and maintain homeostasis. Pumping of the heart. The heart pumps by contracting and relaxing its muscles in a rhythmic way. During the relaxation phase, blood flows through the heart's chambers and fills them up. Then, during the contraction phase, the heart muscles squeeze and push the blood out of the heart through its chambers and into the blood vessels. The human heart has 4 chambers: the right atrium, right ventricle, left atrium, and left ventricle. The right side of the heart pumps oxygen-poor blood to the lungs to be oxygenated, while the left side pumps oxygen-rich blood to the body's tissues. The heart's pumping action is regulated by electrical signals that originate in the heart's pacemaker, the sinoatrial node, and coordinated by the cardiac conduction system. The heart during systole. During systole, which is the contraction phase of the heart's cardiac cycle, the heart muscles in the ventricles contract as blood is pumped out through the pulmonary artery and aorta. The mitral and tricuspid valves between the atria and ventricles close during systole to prevent backward flow of blood. Meanwhile, the aortic and pulmonary valves between the ventricles and their respective arteries open, allowing blood to be ejected out of the heart into the circulation. The pressure in the left ventricle increases during systole to overcome the resistance from systemic circulation, while the pressure in the right ventricle increases to overcome the resistance from pulmonary circulation. The duration of systole is shorter than that of diastole, which is the relaxation phase of the cardiac cycle. Figure 4.16, systole. During diastole. During diastole, which is the relaxation phase of the heart's cardiac cycle, the heart muscles in the ventricles and atria relax, allowing blood to flow into the heart. The mitral and tricuspid valves between the atria and ventricles open during diastole to allow blood to flow into the ventricles from the atria, while the aortic and pulmonary valves between the ventricles and their respective arteries are closed. The pressure in the ventricles decreases during diastole as blood fills the chambers. At the end of diastole, the atria contract to push any remaining blood into the ventricles before the next systole. The duration of diastole is longer than that of systole, allowing ample time for the ventricles to fill with blood before the next contraction. Figure 4.17, diastole. Blood pressure. Blood pressure is the force exerted by the blood on the walls of the blood vessels as it flows through them. It is measured in millimeters of mercury mmHg, and consists of 2 numbers, systolic and diastolic pressure. Systolic pressure indicates the highest pressure in the arteries during systole when the heart is contracting, while diastolic pressure indicates the lowest pressure in the arteries during diastole when the heart is relaxing. Normal blood pressure ranges from 90/60 mmHg to 120/80 mmHg, but can vary depending on age, health status, and lifestyle factors. High blood pressure, hypertension, is a condition in which the force of blood against the arterial walls is consistently too high, while low blood pressure, hypotension, is a condition in which the force of blood against the arterial walls is consistently too low. Both high and low blood pressure can have adverse effects on health and require medical attention if persistent. Heartbeat. Heartbeat refers to the rhythmic contractions and relaxations of the heart muscle, which pump blood through the body's circulatory system. The human heart beats about 60 to 100 times per minute at rest, and the rate and strength of the heartbeat can be influenced by various factors such as physical activity, emotion, and hormonal changes. The heart's pacemaker, the sinoatrial node, generates electrical impulses that spread throughout the heart and coordinate the heartbeat. The sounds of the heartbeat, commonly heard as lub-dub sounds, are created by the closing of the heart valves during systole and diastole. Abnormalities in the heartbeat can indicate underlying cardiac conditions and may require medical attention. These may include arrhythmias, which are irregular heartbeats, or heart murmurs, which are abnormal sounds heard during the heartbeat due to abnormal blood flow through the heart. Importance of blood circulation. Blood circulation is essential for the proper functioning of the human body. It is responsible for delivering oxygen, nutrients, and other essential molecules to the body's tissues, while also removing carbon dioxide and other waste products of metabolism from those tissues. The circulatory system is comprised of the heart, blood vessels, and blood, working together to transport substances throughout the body. The importance of blood circulation can be seen in various aspects of health and well-being, including 1. Providing cells with nutrients and oxygen to function properly. 2. removing metabolic waste products, such as carbon dioxide and lactic acid, from the body. 3. Helping regulate body temperature and pH balance. 4. Transporting hormones and other signaling molecules throughout the body. 5. Supporting the immune system by carrying immune cells and antibodies to fight infection. 6. Facilitating wound healing and tissue repair by bringing nutrients and immune cells to the site of injury. 7. Regulating blood pressure and blood flow to various organs and tissues. Overall, blood circulation is vital for keeping the body's tissues and organs healthy and functioning properly. Figure 4.18, a diagram of the circulatory system in a mammal. Diseases and disorders of the human blood circulatory system. 1. Hemophilia. Hemophilia is a genetic disorder that affects the blood's ability to clot properly, which can lead to excessive bleeding and bruising. It is caused by a deficiency or absence of certain clotting proteins, known as factor VIII, in the case of hemophilia A, or factor IX, in the case of hemophilia B, that are necessary for blood to clot normally. The severity of hemophilia can vary depending on how much clotting factor is missing. People with severe hemophilia may experience spontaneous bleeding, while those with milder forms may only experience bleeding after an injury or surgery. Common symptoms of hemophilia include joint pain and swelling, easy bruising, and prolonged bleeding after injuries or surgeries. Treatment for hemophilia includes replacement therapy, which involves infusing the missing clotting factor into the bloodstream, and other medications to help control bleeding. Hemophilia mainly affects males, as it is a sex-linked genetic disorder and is usually passed down from a mother to her son. However, females can also be carriers of the gene and may experience mild symptoms of the disorder. Current treatments can help manage the symptoms of hemophilia, but there is no cure for this condition. 2. Leukemia. Leukemia is a type of cancer that affects the blood and bone marrow, the spongy tissue inside bones where blood cells are made. In leukemia, abnormal white blood cells are produced and accumulate rapidly, disrupting the normal production of red and white blood cells and platelets. This can lead to low levels of these blood cells, which can cause a variety of symptoms and complications, such as fatigue, infections, anemia, and bleeding problems. The exact cause of leukemia is unknown, but it is thought to be related to genetic mutations that occur in blood cells. There are 4 main types of leukemia: acute lymphocytic leukemia, ALL, chronic lymphocytic leukemia, CLL, acute myeloid leukemia AML, and chronic myeloid leukemia CML. Each type of leukemia has different features and requires different treatments. Treatment for leukemia may include chemotherapy, radiation therapy, stem cell transplant, and targeted therapy. The choice of treatment depends on the type and stage of the leukemia, as well as other factors such as age, overall health, and the presence of other medical conditions. Leukemia can be life-threatening, but with early diagnosis and appropriate treatment, many people with this condition can achieve remission or even a cure. Regular follow-up care is important, as leukemia can sometimes return after treatment. 3. Sickle cell anemia. Sickle cell anemia is an inherited blood disorder that affects the production of hemoglobin, a protein in red blood cells that carries oxygen throughout the body. In people with sickle cell anemia, the hemoglobin forms abnormal sickle shapes that can cause the red blood cells to become rigid and sticky. This can lead to blockages in the blood vessels, which can cause pain, inflammation, organ damage, and increased risk of infections. Sickle cell anemia is caused by a mutation in the HBB gene that affects the production of hemoglobin. The condition is inherited in an autosomal recessive pattern, which means that a person must inherit 2 copies of the mutated gene, one from each parent, to develop the condition. There is no cure for sickle cell anemia, but treatment can help manage the symptoms and complications of the condition. Treatment may include pain management, blood transfusions, hydroxyurea therapy, and bone marrow transplantation. People with sickle cell anemia may also need to take steps to prevent complications, such as avoiding extreme temperature changes, staying hydrated, and getting regular medical checkups. With proper management and care, many people with sickle cell anemia can lead healthy and productive lives. 4. Diabetes mellitus. Diabetes mellitus, commonly referred to as diabetes, is a chronic metabolic disorder characterized by high levels of sugar, glucose, in the blood. This happens because the body is unable to produce enough insulin, type 1 diabetes, or cannot use insulin effectively, type 2 diabetes. Insulin is a hormone that regulates blood sugar levels by helping cells absorb glucose from the bloodstream and convert it into energy. Without insulin, sugar builds up in the bloodstream and can cause a variety of complications, such as nerve damage, kidney disease, vision problems, and heart disease. Type 1 diabetes usually develops during childhood or adolescence, while type 2 diabetes is more common in adults and is closely linked to lifestyle factors such as obesity, physical inactivity, and poor diet. Other types of diabetes include gestational diabetes, which develops during pregnancy, and rare genetic forms of diabetes. Treatment for diabetes may include oral medications, insulin therapy, lifestyle changes, such as diet and exercise, and regular blood sugar monitoring. People with diabetes need to manage their blood sugar levels carefully to prevent complications and maintain their overall health. Diabetes is a serious condition that can lead to significant health problems if left untreated. However, with appropriate management and care, many people with diabetes are able to live long, healthy, and fulfilling lives. Revision Exercise 4.6. 1. Distinguish between systole and diastole. Systole and diastole are two different phases that together make up the cardiac cycle, which refers to one complete heartbeat. During systole, the heart muscles contract and push blood out into the blood vessels. This is the phase of the cardiac cycle when the blood pressure is at its highest. During diastole, the heart muscles relax and the heart fills up with blood from the veins. This is the phase of the cardiac cycle when the blood pressure is at its lowest. In summary, systole refers to the phase of the cardiac cycle when the heart is contracting and pumping blood out, while diastole refers to the phase of the cardiac cycle when the heart is relaxed and filling up with blood. 2. A patient went to Anderlecht Hospital and was told that her blood pressure was 120/70. What does the denominator represent? In the blood pressure reading of 120/70, the denominator represents the diastolic blood pressure. Specifically, it indicates the pressure in the arteries when the heart is relaxed between beats during diastole. A diastolic blood pressure of 70 mmHg is considered normal and healthy. 3. Where do the heart contractions originate from? The heart contractions originate from a specialized group of cells in the heart called the sinoatrial SA node, which is sometimes referred to as the natural pacemaker of the heart. The SA node is located in the upper right chamber of the heart, called the right atrium. The SA node generates electrical impulses that spread throughout the heart muscle, causing the heart to contract and pump blood. The electrical impulses travel from the SA node to the atria and then to the atrioventricular AV node, passing through a network of specialized fibers called the atrioventricular bundle or bundle of His, and finally to the ventricles, which contract and pump blood out of the heart. The coordinated action of these electrical impulses ensures that the heart contracts in a rhythmic and efficient manner, pumping blood throughout the body and delivering oxygen and nutrients to the cells. 4. Explain why the heart contractions are said to be myogenic. The heart contractions are said to be myogenic because the impulse that initiates and coordinates the contractions comes from within the heart muscle, myocardium, itself, rather than from an outside source. Specifically, the heart contractions are initiated and controlled by the specialized muscle cells in the SA node and the AV node, which have the ability to generate and conduct electrical signals spontaneously and rhythmically. These cells are referred to as autorhythmic cells or pacemaker cells. Therefore, the heart muscle cells have an inherent ability to generate and propagate electrical impulses that trigger the contraction of the heart chambers in a coordinated manner. This property of the heart muscle cells to generate their own electrical impulses and coordinate the contractions is why the heart contractions are said to be myogenic. 5. How can we control and prevent hypertension? Hypertension, or high blood pressure, can be controlled and prevented by making some lifestyle changes and taking certain medications as prescribed by a doctor. Here are some ways to control and prevent hypertension. 1. Maintain a healthy weight. Being overweight or obese increases the risk of hypertension. Therefore, maintaining a healthy weight can help to prevent hypertension. 2. Eat a healthy diet. A diet that is low in sodium, saturated fat, and cholesterol, and high in fruits, vegetables, and whole grains, can help to lower blood pressure. 3. Exercise regularly. Regular exercise, such as brisk walking, cycling, or swimming, can help to lower blood pressure and improve overall cardiovascular health. 4. Limit alcohol intake. Drinking too much alcohol can contribute to hypertension. Therefore, limiting alcohol intake to moderate levels is recommended. 5. Quit smoking. Smoking can damage the blood vessels and increase the risk of hypertension. Quitting smoking can help to improve overall cardiovascular health. 6. Take medications as prescribed. Doctors may prescribe medications such as diuretics, ACE inhibitors, or beta blockers to control blood pressure in people with hypertension. By making these lifestyle changes and taking medications as prescribed, hypertension can be controlled and prevented, thereby reducing the risk of serious health problems such as heart disease, stroke, and kidney disease.